Om Agyanti Mirandhasya Dhyananjan Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yen Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yen Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagam Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpata Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we're going to be reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 7.
7.
Yes, chapter 7, text 7. Mattah partaram nanyat
Matta Parataram Nanyat
kinchit asti dhananjaya
Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya
Mai sarvam idam protam
Mai Sarvam Idam Protam
Sutre Munigana iva.
Sutre Manigana Iva.
Translation. O conqueror of wealth,
Who conquers man.
there is no truth
There is no truth
superior to me.
Superior to me.
Everything rests
Everything rests
on me
upon me
as pearls are strung
as pearls are strung
on a thread.
on a thread.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Shri Prabhupada.
Jai. There is a common controversy over whether the Supreme Absolute Truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the Absolute Truth is the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. And this is confirmed in every step. In this verse, in particular, it is stressed that the Absolute Truth is a person, that the personality of Godhead is the Supreme Absolute Truth. It is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. That is, the Supreme Absolute Truth personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the Absolute Truth is the Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in the Shvetasutra Upanishad 3.10, Tato yad uttartaram tad arupam anamyam ya etar vidur amritas te bhavanti athetare dukham eva viyanti. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst the demigods, human beings and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is the transcendence who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental. But those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam. But this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss and knowledge as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. And there's some more verses from Shvetasutra Upanishad. I'm going to skip that. Translation is, I know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness, only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of the Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to the Supreme Person because He is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest and He is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree and He illumines the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, He spreads His energies, His extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Personality, Absolute Truth, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all-pervading by His multi-energies, both material and spiritual. The translation one more time. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me, as pearls are strung on a thread. So here, Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna and telling him that he, Krishna, is the absolute truth. Absolute truth means there is nothing higher than Lord Krishna. Absolute truth means there is no higher truth. It means there is no relativity. It means there is no duality. And it means that it's everything. It also means that it is the origin of everything. Because if it's not, then whatever is the origin of the absolute truth will be the higher truth. So Krishna is basically telling him that there's nothing higher. I'm going to explain that a little bit more by quoting some of the verses. So first of all, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 41 and 42, Krishna describes, he said, Yadyat vibhuti mat sattvam shimat ujitam eva tat eva abhigachitvam mam tejo ansambhava. He says, whatever beautiful thing, whatever glorious thing, whatever amazing thing you see, Arjuna, consider that to be a tiny part of a sparkle of my splendor. So imagine the analogy of a sun. How many rays are coming out of the sun? Who knows? Trillions, trillions and trillions, who knows? If we take one of those rays and take one particle of that ray, Krishna is saying this, that particle of the ray that's exhibiting itself in anything and everything that's glorious or beautiful or exists. In the next verse he says, Atva bahunetena tab, kim gatena tab Arjuna. Vibhashtaham idam krishnam ekanshen sthito jagat. It's saying that what's the need of knowing all these energies and all these details when I'm telling you that I have pervaded myself into everything simply by one small portion of myself. So now he's trying to explain to Arjuna and therefore to us how extensive he is and that everything exists in him. This is another place, chapter 9, text 4, Maya tatam idam sarvam yat jagat avyakt murtinam mat sthani sarvabhutani na chaham tesha avastha. Everything is residing in me. In other words, there's nothing that is independent of Krishna. Nothing independent of Krishna can exist. Because there's no place where Krishna or his energies don't exist, where he has not pervaded himself through his energies. He says, In Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutta Goswami says in first canto, he says, Vadanti tat tattva vidas, tattam yad jnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti, bhagwan iti shapati. He's saying that absolute truth that Krishna is describing exists in three features: Brahman effulgence, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Very good. Bhagavan. So he's saying Brahman effulgence or Brahma Jyoti is nothing but the effulgence of my body. It is that Brahman effulgence that's shining everything in the spiritual world and the material world. The sun gets its heat and light from Brahman effulgence. And just like the sun rays, everything is existing on these rays, which are the bodily effulgence of Lord Krishna, known as Brahma Jyoti. Everything. The only difference is that in the spiritual world, there is no cloud. In the material world, there is a cloud known as Mahat Tattva, which is the modes of material nature all concentrated into one place. So anything that's below that is material world, anything that's outside of that is spiritual world. But the point is, both of them exist in the manifestation situation. So it's basically saying everything is existing in me. Then he goes on to talk about the Paramatma. He says everything in the material world is dead matter. Everything in the material world is dead matter until I enter into it as Paramatma. Brahma Samhita, in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says that in his Paramatma feature, it pervades every atom. Every atom is pervaded by Paramatma feature of Krishna. It doesn't matter whether it's just simple stone, or a tree, or a demigod. Even demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are expansions of Lord Krishna. Brahma is a living entity, like you and me. And again, you and I would be dead matter. The body would be dead unless Krishna entered this body as Paramatma. There will be nothing there. So all the consciousness is coming to the Lord entering first the universe itself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then as Paramatma in every living entity. That's how the consciousness is coming. Otherwise, all dead matter. And that's why he's saying everyone is subordinate. So when Lord Brahma says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, he says, Krishna is the supreme controller. Why? Because he is the highest authority. There is nothing higher than him. There is no truth higher than him, and therefore there is no authority higher than him. Lord Brahma, for example, is a very important and very powerful person. He is basically the creator of this material world. But his power to create comes from a higher truth called Lord Krishna. So even Brahma is not higher than Lord Krishna. These days in ISKCON Toronto, Srimad Bhagavatam class, we're doing 10th canto, chapter 13, which is the bewilderment of Lord Brahma. And in that, it's very nicely described that by the arrangement of Yoga Maya, which is a internal potency of Lord Krishna, Brahma decided that he's going to test who this little boy is. And And the reason was that he had seen Krishna kill all these demons. And literally a few minutes before Brahma's bewilderment, he had seen Krishna as a 5-year-old boy kill a demon by the name of Aghasura, who was so fierce that the demigods were scared of him. And that demon was killed by Krishna as a 5-year-old boy. Brahma didn't have so much problem with that because he said, oh, this is God, so that's why he can do it. But then immediately after all the boys came out of the mouth of Aghasura, they went to the bank of river Yamuna and they sat down to have lunch. In that lunch, the boys, the friends of Krishna, were joking around with Krishna, and Krishna was joking around with them. They would sometimes say to Krishna, oh, this is so nice, sweet barfi, please have some. And Krishna will open his mouth and they'll put some chili or something bitter in his mouth. And when Krishna made faces, they would laugh. Or sometimes they would put a sweet on a flower and say, Krishna, try this. He opened his mouth, they'll throw the sweet on the ground and put the flower in his mouth. And they'll laugh. So this way they were joking around, and Krishna would be joking around with them too. And they were having great times laughing and feeding each other. And Brahma noticed that normally there's supposed to be a fire sacrifice to feed Krishna. There's no mantras being read, there's no fire sacrifice going on. They're feeding Krishna. Or when there's no fire sacrifice, people offer bhoga, they have to read mantras and they have to take shelter of the Guru and all those kind of things. And all the cleanliness have to be maintained. And here these boys will take a bite and give the other part to Krishna. There's no mantras being read and joking around. He got really confused. He says, is this the same God I'm thinking about, or is somebody else? And he decided to test. He decided to test Krishna, is really God or not? And he stole the boys and the calves that they were responsible for. And Brahma was fully expecting that Krishna will get all worried. He'll run here and there in all the forests looking for their calves and the boys. Or he'll go crying to his mother or father and say, I'm very sorry I lost all the calves. And I lost the boys also. Or he'll come to me, fall down at my lotus feet, apologize and say, please, I'm begging you, give my calves back and my boys back. Brahma was thinking something like this will happen. But as soon as he turned around, he noticed that all the boys and all the calves that he had stolen were there. The calves were grazing in the field, and the boys were still having lunch and joking around with Krishna. And he said, how's that possible? Did I not steal them? He goes to the cave where he put them. Sure enough, all the calves and the boys are sleeping there in the cave. So he comes out, and maybe Krishna changed it. No, they're still outside playing and joking around with Krishna. He did back and forth a few times. He goes into the cave, the boys are there, calves are there. Comes out, the boys are there, calves are there. Got totally confused. So what happened here? Brahma, the greatest personality in the material world, tried to test and bewilder Krishna. But in return, he got bewildered himself. Why? Because he's not a higher truth than Krishna. Krishna can bewilder anyone. Even Lord Shiva, who actually in terms of tattva, the truth, is higher than Lord Brahma. And he got bewildered. What happened? Lord Shiva had seen the pastime of Lord Krishna coming as in a Mohini form and giving all the nectar to the demigods after that churning of the ocean. And Lord Shiva couldn't believe it. He said, how is it possible that these demons who are so clever allowed you to do that? And the Lord said, well, they were so taken by my beauty that they couldn't think straight. And Lord Shiva said, how is that possible? How can be anybody so beautiful that the demons will be taken? I want to see that fall. And the Lord said, my dear Shiva, you don't want to do that. Lord Shiva insisted, no, I won't do that. You know me, I'm totally controlled. I sit with Parvati, Gandharva, the Cupid came to disturb my meditation. He was not successful. No, I'm cool. You can do this with me. Lord Shiva said, Lord Krishna said, you don't want. Lord Shiva said, no, I want. I said, okay. So Lord Krishna took the form of Mohini, very beautiful woman. Lord Shiva lost all control just from seeing her. So once again, the point is, because Krishna is the highest truth, the absolute truth, no one, not even the most exalted demigods, not even the most exalted personalities, have a chance against Krishna. He's trying to convince Arjuna that because I am the highest, there's nothing higher than me. And he just gives a very simple, small example. He says, you see all these universes? Well, you probably can't see all the universes, but just look at one universe. And just by the way, there are trillions and trillions of universes. But look at one universe. You probably can't even see the whole universe. Just look around the planet Earth that you are in. There's so many planets around it. Just close by, Mercury is there, Jupiter is there, Saturn is there, and all those planets are there. But they are all revolving in their own orbit, in perfect balance. And there's trillions of those in just one universe. And there's trillions and trillions of universes. Just do a multiplication. And I want to tell you a show, a magic show I had seen many, many years ago. The magician was on the stage and he took 12 plates, quarter plates, 8 inches diameter. And he had 12 sticks. He put the sticks on the ground and put one plate on one stick and rotated it very, very, very fast. So it was balancing on that stick. And he went doing that on all the 12 sticks, so 12 plates on 12 sticks, going like this, rotating like this, in perfect balance. But because very soon they'll slow down and fall, so he was running around like crazy between the 12 sticks, trying to keep this place rotating. And in less than 1 minute, he was sweating. He was running so hard between these 12 sticks, trying to keep the place rotating. After 2 minutes, he gave up. So there's just 12 plates in less than 2 minutes. Now imagine trillions and trillions of these planets, and the distance between each other is probably millions of miles. Somebody's keeping them rotating. Somebody's keeping them in balance. Not for 2 minutes, not for 10 minutes, not for 10 years. For how long? I mean, trillions. So this universe, the one that we live in, will last 311 trillion 40 billion years. Should I repeat that? 311 trillion 40 billion years. That means it is for that long, all these planets, these trillions and trillions of planets will be rotating in their orbit and revolving around each other in perfect balance. And it's not like nobody's disturbing these planets. There's bombs being tested and thrown. We are jumping up and down. Planes are crashing. All sorts of things are happening. But still, everything is staying in its own orbit. And there's nobody running around. Nobody's getting tired. Nobody's sweating. Krishna is saying, I am that absolute truth. who's keeping everything in balance. And he said, the way I do this is just like if you look at a necklace with the pearls having been strung on a thread, they don't fall off. The person wearing the necklace can jump, they can swim, they can run, they can do whatever they want. But the pearls stay because they're threaded through this thread. And Krishna is saying, Mai sarvam idam protam. This is what I am doing. I got them all strung. But have you seen that string? No, it's an unseen, invisible string that is controlling. But every planet is connected through this string. Staying in space. And then on those planets you have what's called gravity. Newton did not invent gravity. He just understood the concept. That was always there. The gravity is caused by Krishna. And imagine, Earth is rotating, and there are people here, which is basically like North America, and people here in Australia. And they're all on the Earth. Why? Because of the gravity. Right? Everybody agrees? Everybody understands? Imagine if there was no gravity. All the poor Australians will fall off. There's nothing holding them. Right? All of us, sooner or later, will fall off because there's nothing holding us. So Krishna has thought about all those things. And he said, nothing can disturb that. You can throw your nuclear bombs, you can do whatever you want, but it doesn't move. Why? Because the thread that's holding these pearls is me. There's no higher power. So it is by my control it's doing. Now, then Krishna explains that it's not me who's running around doing this. In Shetashtar Upanishad, it says, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Natasya samo abhiyadhikasya dishyate. Para asa shakti vividhav shruvite swabhaviki jnana bal kriya. He's saying, the Upanishad is saying, Krishna has nothing to do. Kind of interesting. Somebody who's managing all the universes, the entire material world, the affairs of material world. Somebody is managing the affairs of all the spiritual world. It is explained the spiritual world is 3 times the size of material world. And we know material world is big enough. In Brahma Samhita it is said that if somebody travels at the speed of mind and tries to cross over this universe, it will take them millions and millions of years. That's long distance. Right? So Krishna is saying, I have nothing to do. I'm sitting in one place. Golekem nivasati akhilatma bhuta. Brahma Samhita says, but Krishna is sitting there in Golok Vrindavan. Right? And what's happening in Golok Vrindavan? Lakshmi Sahasrashat Sambram Sevyaman. Millions of Lakshmis, goddess of fortunes, are serving him. Sambram is completely serving him, completely surrender, completely serving. They have nothing else to do. So there he is sitting in Golok Vrindavan. And you can imagine either in a swing or in a seat or on a chair like that. And he's being served by all these millions of gopis, or Lakshmis. And everything is being taken care of. How? Parasya Shakti Buddha. All his energies, which are transcendental, which means out of this world, they're taking care of everything for him. Sometimes it's the Yog Maya, which is the internal potency, which helps him perform pastimes. Sometimes it's Mahamaya, the external potency. What does external potency do of Krishna? Anybody has me? What is the job of external potency of Krishna?
Keep us here.
To keep us here? Anybody else? So, thank you. I will disagree. The job of external potency of Krishna is to send us back to Krishna. That's the job of external potency. Now, its methods are kind of different, and it looks like, as Prabhu said very rightly, that it wants to keep us here. But it doesn't. It looks like it's keeping us here because, as Janak Maharaj told Narad Muni, when Narad Muni asked Janak Maharaj, why is it that Maya will not leave us alone? And Janak Maharaj said, and they were walking in a garden. Janak Maharaj stopped in front of a tree and embraced it. Embraced it very tightly. And started shouting, "Oh tree, let me go. Oh tree, let me go. I don't want you. Tree, let me go." And Narad was looking at him kind of strange, what happened to him? I thought he was kind of, okay person, but looks like he's crazy. And then Janak Maharaj came out and smiled and said, "This is why. We have got hold of Maya, we won't let it go. We won't let Maya go. So Maya said, let me go. And we say, no, we won't let you go, we like you. And she says, no, my boss has told me to let you go. When we don't listen, Maya says, okay, I'm going to punish you. So all the miseries in the material world, whether it's caused by demigods, caused by our own body or mind, or by people we know, other people, or other living entities like mosquitoes. They bite us, we get what? Malaria. Not fun. Not fun. Or bacteria, we get that, we get cholera, and all this other stuff. And all sorts of other miseries happen. Birth is misery, death is misery. Old age is misery, disease is misery. Sometimes children give us problems, sometimes other people give us problems. It's problems, problems, problems. Misery, misery, misery. So much so that even when Krishna himself comes, whether himself or in another incarnation like Lord Ramchandra, he finds so much misery. Every day before lunch, some demon will come and try to kill him. Without fail, before lunch, some demon comes and tries to kill him. On the day of his appearance, he got separated from his natural birth parents. On the day of his appearance. Later on, he got accused of stealing a jewel. Like the Lord is being accused of being a thief. I'm not talking about butter that he did deliberately. That was something else, right? Lord Ramchandra, how much difficulties did he have? He got banished from his kingdom. On the day he was supposed to be coronated. He was told to go to jungle. And not for a day or two, for 14 years. He walked barefoot through all this forest, and he was being attacked by all these demons. And then his wife got kidnapped. His pure devotees, like Prahlad Maharaj, how much devotee did he have? He got stomped by an elephant, got thrown in a well full of scorpions and snakes. He got put in fire with his ant, got pierced by tridents, all sorts of things. And finally, his own father, who was like 100 times his size, standing in front of him, his sword out, saying, I'm going to chop your head off. So this place is full of miseries. But why is Maya doing that? Why is Krishna allowing this to happen? It's not our punishment. Sometimes we think it's our karma, we're being punished because of the karmas. In a way, that's correct. But that's not why it's happening. Krishna is not so cruel. He'll put us in so much difficulty. I've got a sister in Toronto. She's 28 years old. She's in the third stage of cancer. Miserable. Right? So many other people, so many things. Why is Krishna so cruel? Is he cruel? Krishna is saying, no, don't look at it that way. I'm not cruel. I haven't got Maya to keep you here. This punishment or so-called punishment is simply a reminder to all of us that we are in a bad place and that we don't belong here. No matter how hard we try, we will not find happiness in this place. We may become multi-billionaires, but we still will not be happy. Not for a long time anyway. We may become President of the United States, but we will not be happy, not for a long time anyway. We can become whatever. We become big scientists, get Nobel Prize, whatever, but we will not be happy for a long time. He's saying, the only place that you find happiness is with me. So come back to me, and because you're not listening, I'm giving you reminders that this is not the place for you. Here there's nothing but misery. So come back to me, a place of eternal happiness. So that's all he's doing, and that's all Maya is doing. So her way is kind of different, but her purpose is simply to have us all go back to Krishna. That absolute truth, which is personification of eternity, bliss, and knowledge, which means no ignorance, which means no unhappiness, which means no death. The place where once we go, we don't come back. The place where the happiness that we can receive, the happiness that we can feel, cannot be compared with anything. No amount of money or even moksha, which is the liberation in Brahmani effulgence. It cannot compare with that. It's just so much more. So Krishna is reminding Arjuna, I am that absolute truth. The implication in that reminder is that therefore surrender to me. Because if you don't, then you're going to be under something that's not absolute truth. And something less means relativity. Something less means duality. Duality means happiness, unhappiness, or misery. Duality means hot and cold. Duality means old and young. Duality means rich and poor. You'll go through all that. He's already reminded Arjuna in chapter 5, Yehi sansparsaja bhoga tukshiyoniya ev. That whatever material happiness you can get is actually a source of your misery. You can try as hard as you like, but in the end you will only get misery. Because you're going after something that's relative truth, not absolute truth. Everything in the material world is relative truth. Some people are still not convinced that Krishna is the absolute truth. Sometimes even the demigods get confused. Sometimes the sages get confused. That is it really true or is it not true? So actually there's a nice story about a whole bunch of sages, very prominent sages, getting together and saying, we want to once for all know who's the absolute truth. Who's the highest authority? And they said, we already know that the competition is only between three people. There's Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. So who among the three is the greatest and therefore the highest? And they appointed a sage by the name of Bhrigu Muni, who was a very prominent Muni of that time. Actually, he's written a book called Bhrigu Samhita. For those of you who are in astrology or those kind of things, it's a very important book for them. Anyway, so they appointed him and said, you go and prove once for all who is the highest authority. So he said, okay. So first, he went to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva happened to be in a hut at that time, the door closed with Mother Parvati. He didn't bother knocking. He didn't say, I'm coming. He didn't announce it. Just opened the door and barged in where Lord Shiva was. So Lord Shiva stopped, welcomed him because, he's very prominent Muni, and said, how may I serve you? And he started blaspheming Lord Shiva. What kind of a person are you? You were always covered with ashes from the crematorium, look at your hair, it's all matted, you're wearing a deer skin, and you're staying with all these, ugly people, and you got skulls around your neck, just blaspheming. So after a while, Lord Shiva said, okay, enough, get out of here. I don't want enough of you, so, before I do something, you get out. So, Brahmani left, saying to himself, oh, Lord Shiva gets angry, so can't be right. But Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the father. So he didn't offer his obeisances to Lord Brahma. And started talking to him in a very informal way. Lord Brahma was very insulted. He says, what's this nonsense? Don't you have any respect? You have no courtesy, there's no etiquette. Lord Brahma said, oh, okay. He said, Brahma is angry. He cannot be angry. Finally he went to Lord Vishnu. And there was Lord Vishnu lying on the bed of snake, the Sheshnag. And Mother Lakshmi was massaging his lotus feet, as she always does. And once again, Brahmani did not announce himself, went barging in. And this time he got really bad. He went all the way up to Lord Vishnu and kicked him in the chest. Imagine somebody kicking the Lord in the chest. Expecting a reaction. Lord Vishnu got up and fell flat at the lotus feet of Brahmani. I said, please forgive me. I was so impudent that I didn't get up when he came in. I didn't welcome you nicely. And I sincerely apologize. Please forgive me. This will never happen again. Brahmani was stunned. How is this possible? I just kicked somebody in the chest when he was resting. His wife sitting there. And he's apologizing to me for not having gotten up early enough. I said, therefore, it has to be the greatest person, the highest authority, the absolute truth. Came back, gave his report, and everyone agreed that we don't need any more proof. So Krishna here is basically confirming what's happened here. And he's saying, there's no need. Actually, in the next verse that I was quoting, Atha Bhavanitenki, Gyatenta Arjuna. He said to Arjuna, you don't need to go around spending all this time trying to analyze all my energies. There's millions of them. You'll go crazy. You start analyzing my energies, there's no end to them, you will go crazy. Just like my qualities are infinite. My expansion, Anantadev, with his millions of tongues, has been chanting my qualities and my glories since time immemorial. It's not done yet. And he will never be done. Similarly, my energies are infinite. If you start analyzing these energies, you spend millions and trillions of years, you will not be done. What is the use of doing that? Just understand one simple principle, one simple fact, I should say. I have pervaded everything from a small particle of my energies. I don't need to give everything. I just small, very small particle of my energies. And with that, everything is staying. Everything is existing. And everything is happening. The material world, under my control, under my control, under my superintendence, this material world is working. This I who expanded into all the Vishnu forms, this I who expanded into all the living entities, this I who caused the material world and the spiritual world to manifest. I'm Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Prabhu. I'm the master of everyone. Everything comes from me. There is no higher truth. So stop looking around. Stop your research. Stop reading all those books. Just know one simple fact. I am the absolute truth. I am the highest authority. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I am a person. I am not a formless energy. The energies come from me. I am the energetic. Without me, energies will not exist because I'm the source of all those energies. All you need to know is, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead and you are my servant. Your duty is to serve me for the simple purpose of pleasing me. If you try to get a lot more, you'll simply get confused. Just know this simple truth. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am the highest truth. You are my servant, your job is to serve me simply for the purpose of pleasing me. You don't need to know anymore. Because any more will get you confused, will take you away from your path of devotional service. He spends almost the entire 9th chapter talking about devotional service. And he basically says that out of all the different processes, devotional service is the best and the most direct process. In the 6th chapter, he said the same thing. Yoginam api sarvesham bhakti nantaragna. Out of all the yogic processes, whether it's jnana yoga, karma yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga is the topmost. Why? Because the most direct process. So he's saying, just use that. Just use that process to understand me. Because again, he says in the 18th chapter, that's the only way you'll get to know me. And the more sincerely you serve me, the more I will reveal of myself to you. Because on your own, you cannot know me. So simply serve me with love and devotion, I will reveal myself, and that's all you need to know. So it's about 7-8 minutes left. I'll stop here for any questions or comments. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, on this wonderful verse 7.7. On the topic of Paramatma, as Paramatma, the Lord pervades every atom as well. And we have heard the story of great rishis like Valmiki before he became a rishi, or as he was getting to be a rishi, how he was jumping on top of all these ants and everything so that he doesn't stamp on them. So practically it's not possible because Paramatma is there in every atom, including where we are walking. So the concept of Paramatma is to understand that God is all pervasive, and is that the understanding of Paramatma being in every atom, or should we make an effort to make sure that we don't offend any, which is not possible actually. And also in our own body, the pictures that we see is Paramatma in the heart, but in reality are there many Paramatmas because there are many atoms in the body.
So your question is?
So my question is, when we say one Paramatma, so is that one prominent Paramatma? Because there are trillions of Paramatmas in every atom, which is even in our body.
Thank you. Everyone understands the question? So, as a simple example, think of sun rays. They're everywhere. But it's not one single ray coming from the sun. There's billions and trillions of them. So similarly, when Krishna is expanding in his Paramatma feature, it's like a continuous wave. It's pervading everything. However, there's another form of Paramatma, which actually has a Narayan form, a 400 Narayan form. It takes that form to accompany every living entity. So a stone is not a living entity. There's only Paramatma there. But in a living entity like you and me, or an ant, or a donkey, or whatever, there's a soul there, and Krishna in his localized form, Paramatma form, is residing with it for two reasons. That's again explained in Bhagavad Gita. Updrashta anumantacha bharta bhokta mahesha. It's there as a sanctioner, in other words, it's sanctioning whether we can do something or not, and it's there as a witness to all our activities. So that Paramatma, the localized Paramatma feature, stays with the living entity all the time until the living entity is liberated and goes to material world. There's no Paramatma in spiritual world. There's no Paramatma in the spiritual world. Paramatma features only in the material world. Okay? Sorry? Okay, so until then, this Paramatma, the localized feature of Paramatma, accompanies the living entity no matter what body it goes in. So any of the 8.4 million different species, as long as the living entity is moving into a body, Paramatma goes with it. But that's different from Paramatma that's pervading every atom. That's more like an energy, a continuous wave. Okay? So therefore, when you kick a stone, there's no offense. Right? But if you kick me, I'll be offended. That's different. Right? So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but those are the two different features of Paramatma. One is more a continuous wave form, energy form. One is a localized form, which looks like naan, right? The size of the thumb that accompanies every soul.
Answers the question.
Yes?
About Paratma, I could understand it inside of me, but Paratma is an animal. What's the purpose? What's the use of it inside an animal?
Good question. What is the use of a soul in an animal?
Paratma.
And Paramatma.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, Paramatma is there to witness everything that the soul is doing. Paramatma is also there to sanction whatever it is doing. Man or animal, doesn't matter. There still is, so for example, if a tiger said, I want to fly today, Paramatma says, no, you can't fly, I haven't given you that body. So that's still working. Similarly, Paramatma inspires a tiger. You know, this is very nice, wonderful Prabhu, don't eat this one. Let him go. So tiger says, Hare Krishna, and he can keep walking. Paramatma does that. So his function doesn't stop with his human body or animal body. The function still remains the same. Witness and sanction. Okay? Any other questions, comments?
Why is it important to know that Krishna is the highest authority? Isn't it enough that Krishna we love is Krishna himself, and we don't need him to be highest authority to love him?
Wonderful question. I'm repeating. She's asking, why do we need to know Krishna is the absolute truth and highest authority? If we can just love him, it doesn't matter, right? So wonderful, thank you for asking. It is important for those of us who do not have pure love of Krishna in our heart, that his absolute truth is the highest authority. Otherwise, we'll be worshipping whoever comes in handy, right? I'll just give you one real life example. About 6-7 years ago, a new devotee had come to Toronto. He was a new immigrant actually, he was looking for a job. And I was helping him, and it looked like I would be able to help him to get a job. And he came to me, right in the temple room. He said, do you understand Hindi? I'll say in Hindi first, then translate it. मेरे लिए तो आप भगवान हो. For me, you are God. Why? Because I'm helping him get a job. My point is, people make God up. Whoever is convenient for whatever reason is God. And that's why there's so many fights going on. Some say Shiva is the Supreme God. Some say no, Brahma is Supreme God. Some say no, Indra is Supreme God. Some say no, Sun is Supreme God. Some say no, my mother is Supreme God. Some say no, this tree is Supreme God. So many people with different versions. So much confusion. So Krishna said, no more confusion because you're going to all get hurt in worshipping demigods or whatever. Just worship me because I'm Supreme Personality of God. On the other hand, pure devotees such as Mother Yashoda, such as all the residents of Vrindavan, the friends, the other gopis, they had no clue who is God. As a matter of fact, every time they got a hint that is God, they rejected it. Because they loved him for who he was. And if you can do that, actually you don't need to know, you don't want to know. You refuse to know that is God. I wish we were there. But if you can be there, yes, I agree with you. You don't need to know. But he's talking to people like me who don't have that inner knowledge. We need to know his supreme self and worship him and then develop. So yes, we want to get there, we're not there yet. When we get there, we won't care that he's gone. Until then we do it. Otherwise, we'll be worshipping everybody here and there. Okay, I guess one more minute. Yes?
So once you get liberated, Paramatma won't be seated in your heart.
If you go to the spiritual world, there's no Paramatma. You don't need, because you don't have a body, a material body anymore. Your soul is the body. Right? You don't need it. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.